Hello. Oh, wow. There's a lot of sound. I think it's time to start. Anyone back there listening? Who's hopefully ready? This is the best thing I know, like getting to watch people's desktops. It says a lot about people. Not sure what it says, but it says something. Come on. So this is going to work in a chaotic way where when you want to present, you send stuff to me on Slack or email or just bring it on a USB stick or whatever you want. And then you show your stuff for a couple of minutes and we watch and then we move on to the next person. And if you have several projects, that's fine as well. It's up to you if you want to do them at the same time or if you want to leave space between. Everything is broadcasted on Goto10's YouTube page, YouTube channel right now, and we have at least one viewer who's working from remote, who we had problem getting connection with for her presentation. Then we have we had a team in outside Los Angeles in Joshua Tree as well. They had trouble with wind apparently. So they only completed one project out of 3, and they've sent a presentation which they forgot to give me access to, and now it's nighttime. So we'll see. It's incredibly stupid anyway. So they succeeded at some level. It was weird. It was something with like an alcohol meter and a tattoo machine. So it sets the bar really high. All right, we've got 2 people lined up who want to go first because reasons. Olof, want to go first? Yeah, come on, hook it up. Hopefully it works fine and quickly.
Everybody please remember that if you do not speak into the microphone, people who are viewing this live or later will not hear you.
Cool. So we got some problems.
Yeah, so basically we feel that every morning we're very depressed generally when we follow the news. So like we stop following news, which is not good at all. So we try to come up with a solution how to make news less depressing for us. So we made this plugin.
So we got this happy plugin where we kind of make news sites better to our what we want to see. So instead of some kind of corona warnings, we get this party announcements. And yeah, so it's much more fun and like
And then you can choose it has support for different kind of profiles, depending like if you want to read news in a leftish way or a rightish way. So there are a lot of possibilities, but now we just developed happy mode for now. So that's us. Thanks.
Thanks.
So thank you. That was amazing. The next team who wanted to go early was this weird thing. Want to come up?
Yes. Yeah, could you bring up my presentation, please? Matthias. So we're here looking for sponsors for making a product for us here. And this is something that you really need, everybody. This is the true vintage feeling for your videos. So perhaps you could help me and scroll down in the presentation. So. Ping, pågopedagog, for those that are old. So this is the first time we're attending the Stupid Hackathon. It's been a fun experience so far. And this is what we did. You take an old CRT TV, connect it to a computer from 1983, and connect that to a modern computer, and connect the modern computer to a camera. So, next slide, please. So this is the VTech Laser 200 from 1983. It has a Z80 CPU, runs about 4 megahertz. I was 9 years old when that came out. It has 2 kilobytes of RAM and 2 kilobytes of video RAM, and it has a text mode with 32 times 16 characters. So, next slide, please. So what we did was make a Python script that basically reads stuff from your camera and encodes that to black and white, and then converts it, to grayscale, and then scales it down to 32 by 16, and then converts it to ASCII, and then samples the intensity levels, and then generates an audio signal, and sends the audio signal out. And then on the C80 and the VC200, we have a small assembly program, basically reads the audio signal and generates the corresponding characters, all in real time. So we need about $1 million, I think, to make a product. Thank you.
Wow. All right, and now it's anyone who want to go next. All right, welcome.
Yeah, we just need a web browser.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can talk while you're prepping.
Sure.
All right, so we have done a bunch of really stupid stuff. So we had an idea for multiple hacks, and we were gonna, we'll do just a couple of them and show you the best. But we spent 2 hours making one of them, and then we were like, okay, but we want to deploy this properly. So the first thing we ran into was that we're using an external API which has HTTP only. You have to pay to get HTTPS. So if we would have been smart, we would have just switched to another API. But we're like, no, we'll put up a reverse proxy instead. And if we would have been smart there, we would have just taken Nginx or something. But instead, we wrote a Lambda in Rust because that's kind of cool. And then ideally, we would have just deployed that manually, but we're like, no, we're going to use all this fancy infrastructure as code stuff. So we spent 9 hours deploying this thing. So, yes, but here's our app. So we've made a weather app where instead of choosing your population by a drop-down list. Yeah, so yeah, we like the ideas of doing stupid pickers in forms. So we have made a country picker for the weather app where you pick your country by typing in the population, and then you get the weather. So anyone has a favorite country and can name the population of it? 42 million, all right. Yeah, so it's sunny in Sudan. Let's see if we can do Sweden, just to show that it works.
Yeah, sure. In Sweden, it's 10.1.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, that's it for us. We would have liked to show you more, but this is all we have. You have a question? I mean, we're taking the closest, so let's. Yeah, it will take. If we just increase by 1, we'll stay in Sweden for a while, probably.
In 2.0, you'll have to be exact.
Yeah. Like, sorry, that's no population. Yeah.
Thank you. Måns, want to plug something in?
So I also spent a lot of time on stupid things, which I guess is kind of the theme of this hackathon, except it's fun. It's not so fun when the stupid things aren't related to your project. I had an idea that I was going to count the wave cycles in my voice to help me break a glass when I hit a certain note. But then I found out my hardware didn't work sometime last night, so now I had to throw something together, which is even more stupid, instead of just giving up. But so I made this face recognition app that helped you tell you which person you look most like, because most face recognition software just helps you recognize yourself, and I'm not so interested in recognizing myself. I know what I look like, so I wanted to know who else I look like. Oh, I guess it doesn't work on this size. That's also stupid. I'll have to show you on my computer like this instead. So it starts the web camera. Oh, no, it doesn't work at all now anymore. That's really stupid. All right, I'll be back.
Fantastic. Next team.
Hello. So we also built a thing related to Corona, because we're getting sick of all the angst and stress about possibly getting it. So we thought, why not build a thing that gives us Corona? So with this microphone here, we had a machine learning application that can detect the coughing in the vicinity. Yeah. So when someone coughs, for example, Ariel here, the fan starts spinning, and then it sucks the air into your mouth. Yeah. And then you wait 2 weeks, and then hopefully. And then also, when you get Corona, you can switch the mode of the fan so it blows outwards instead. So we help each other. Not there? Thank you.
I've got a Corona thing as well, so I might as well tag on to that. At some point yesterday, it felt like half of us were doing Corona things. So you might have seen this, the World Health Organization's PDF from 2009. It's everywhere on next to hand sanitizers these days. But it's seriously from 2009. It says down here, so it needed a little bit of update. So I created a community called handwashing.club, which you can join if you want on your phones. So it will assign a username, splashed handle in my case. Everything is hygiene related, obviously. And then it just goes on forever, and you can wash your hands with others. If you were online now, I would be able to see who you were, or not really. I would be able to see your handle. And then it just goes on forever. So that's it. Thank you. Emil?
Yeah. So imagine you're an American tourist traveling to Japan and maybe hiking in the mountains. And when you stand and look at the view, you realize that you should probably call home to your family and tell them how fantastic it is. But now you have no idea what time it is in the US. So you know the time in Japan, but you don't know the time in the US. So then you need a good solution for this, find out the time. And for this, I've built a project called Emoji Zones. And what it does is that you can install it from PyPy on your computer, which you, of course, have with you when you hike. You take the time in Japan, and then you look around, and you try to find the emoji that most looks like the place you're in. So since you're in Japan, you could use the Mount Fuji symbol, because you're probably close to that. And since you want to look up the time in the US, maybe you take the Statue of Liberty and look at that. And you call the convert method with that, and you can get the time, which is 14 hours before the time in Japan. And you've solved your problem, which is great. And now maybe you think that this isn't that usable, but it actually is, because there's flag emojis. So there's actually lots of time zones in the emoji picker on your phone. So this could be used for lots of different things. So from Sweden to Finland. But I hear some of you are thinking that, well, some countries have multiple time zones. How do you deal with that? Well, I've implemented a little calculator. So you can use like the Statue of Liberty +4 in emojis. And now you can get all time zones in all different countries. And this means that you could do like really strange like calculator stuff. So the baguette is, of course, Paris. So you could add some emojis to that and get time zones from that. And you could also like just look up what's baguette +2. And if you wanted, you could like implement a calculator based on this. So maybe you want to do 4 times 3, and then you could do David Bowie, and then plus 4 times 3 minus David Bowie again. And then you get, if you do some strange stuff, you could get like the offset there. And that's it. And I think most time of this project have been just going through all the emojis and seeing that, well, this Dracula, that's Bucharest. And if you look down a bit in this list, which is super long, you have like pretzels and French fries. You have the difference between rugby and American football is there, so you could check that. And we have like, you have Chernobyl here. This is, yeah, obviously Chernobyl. Then all the flags. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Emil. Okay, Måns is up again.
Turns out you have to start the terminal after you you resize your screen. I know the wait is worth it. Okay, so it's much more fun to find out who you actually look like and like at what percentage. And I also found out that you look a lot like Mussolini if you're angry. But then if you smile, I look more like Stalin. No? But it does, let's see. I have to get really close here. Yeah, so quite useless.
All right, who's up? Yep, sure. Oh yeah, okay.
Pekka. Först en webblänk. Och en liten videosnutt. Right, so the first project is a clock that tells you exactly what the time is not. So it generates random timestamp, checks towards the current time and makes sure it doesn't match, and just display it once per second. So that's the first project, and then I have another one as well, which is a short video. Let's see if it works. Oh, maybe. Or I could re-encode it and try again later. Yep. So this is basically a software that detects if you close your eyes and it pauses the video you're watching, so you don't miss anything at all. So it's using OpenCV and Python, and as soon as you close your eyes, it stops the playing. That's it.
I'm calling on you to say I want you.
So it seemed like you guys were up next, right?
So this is our project. It's called Stupid Giraffe Detector. We found out that somewhere in Africa there's actually some pretty good algorithms for detecting giraffes. We couldn't find those algorithms, so we found some other stuff. As you can see, it does a pretty good job. There's actually 5 giraffes here, but I only detected 4, but you know, details. So then we just tried to see if we could trick the algorithm a little bit by photoshopping some more giraffes into the regular Stockholm. We thought a giraffe detector that finds giraffes in Sweden would actually be something we could make. Yeah. As you can see, it works. It finds lots of other stuff. We found that quite disappointing, that it was finding many things that were not giraffes. That was not the intention of the project. It does actually find this giraffe hidden in the middle of the picture, so we're quite happy with that. Yeah. What? Yeah, this person is a chair. Yeah. This is either a horse or a kite. We haven't, apparently not a giraffe. It's not that, you can trick the program, it's pretty good. A moose is not a thing. that we worked out as well. An elk, sorry. So, but boats are definitely things. We found lots of boats. This is actually a cake and not a giraffe. We tried to make a Lego giraffe that didn't work at all. We found lots of things, but this Lego is invisible, by the way. It's really interesting. I think some specularity stuff. Then we made this video. I don't know what you want to say about this, Emma. Then we started to get a bit. We started to refine our program so that it only looked for giraffes and only reported giraffes in the main area. Where is our little model giraffe? Yeah, it's there. That's our new mascot. And then we decided to make like a live feed that always looks for giraffes in Stockholm, and then tells you, on a daily basis what is the most likely giraffe. In this case, I'm not even sure what that is, but no, this is here. That's most likely giraffe with a 0.0058% chance. And then we decided to gamify this. So we're going to play the game in a second. There's a timer, and then when the timer reaches 0, whoever is the most likely to look like a giraffe wins. In this case, the real giraffe won. However, sometimes you can beat the giraffe. And sometimes it doesn't even recognize that the giraffe's actually there, which is pretty good. And then we expanded it out and pivoted a little bit, and now it's a game where you can just, gives you a random object, and you actually have to pretend to be that object. And a piece of paper can actually be a real sandwich. So now we can play the game. So some audience participation. The wrong tab. Let's see if this... Yes. Okay, so try and be a cup. Wait. Your shoes win. Try and be a tie. Winner! And we'll do one more. Try and be a traffic light. Who's it gonna be? Winner! You can actually download all our source code on GitHub and play the game at work and at home.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, we had to wait in the kids here. Yeah. So. Nej, vägen. There. We're going to start to show a little video. Tar du på den? Kan du? Jag vet inte om jag kan få i den här. Kan du ta på den där? Yeah, we did like a lot of other people and tried to fight the corona, not give people corona. And realized that one of the main issues is that when people get the disease on their hands, they touch their face and get infected. So we created a small small apparatus to fix that problem. But first for video.
2020, and the coronavirus is spreading fast. One team will attempt to stop it within 24 hours. Stop touching your face. We need to detect when you touch your face in order to stop it, and wash your face. You take action to wash your face immediately. Stay tuned for demo. Thank you.
Yeah. We think that, sorry, we thought we made a little video because we actually never managed to get the demo working before, so in 4 years. So let's try. What? No, not really. And it's kind of never-ending loop because you have to take away the water every time it starts over. So it's actually working. Yeah. Well, thank you.
All right. Perfect. Sorry, Mons. It's virus. All right. Anyone else? Yes, Svante.
Hello. Adapter?
USB-C?
Yes. Or something.
Yes, I have it. Wait.
Oh, you mean like to the HDMI?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, there it is.
Perfect. Okay, so we made a techno music auto transcriber. So this is perfect when you want to share the music that you love in text format. For example, that song that goes boom tch, boom tch, boom tch, but you don't really have time to write it down, so you want to play that song and like get that transcribed for you automatically. And this is perfect for telling your friends and making merchandise, this boom tch t-shirt, and for deaf people, of course. And let's demo if we have music. No. Which channel is it?
It's every option. It's just on.
And we have multiple languages also. Oh, sorry. And rövarspråket. And emojis.
And then if you also want to save your anteckning, you can click the download button. And I don't know if this is working with emoji, but let's check. Yes. So now you can keep your favorite techno song as a note. Also, Svante made this song.
Yeah, so this is perfect for everyone, I guess.
Didn't you have one in English as well? But it was called, yeah, the transcriber. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yes. All right. Anyone else want to go? Yes. And then we mustn't forget we've got the two remote teams as well. I'm just saying that so we all collectively remember that.
Perfect. Thank you. So I built this tool that it's a spinning wheel. So if you, for instance, are an e-commerce and you would like to offer to your customers the opportunity to get a free checkout, so not pay anything, they can spin the roulette, or they can end up paying double. So there's two buttons. The idea is that if you click on I am a chicken, it will drag you down to the payment system. So you're not playing. But if you click on I'm a coward, you can see that here we have the total pay amount, which is 100. If we click on it, it's loading for free. But let's refresh it and see if the randomizer help us to show you if you have to pay for it. Double. So then you get like double the amount. But also I put this I'm a chicken, and then if you click on it, it just gets you a chicken. Yeah. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Can you bring it up on your computer? Mine's a little...
Yeah, it's on Slack. About a month ago, I started playing around with mechanical keyboards. I didn't even know it was a thing about a month ago, and now I've spent too much money, and my kid's telling my wife that I'm actually spending money on this. When they're in the car and she comes home, how much have you spent on keyboards? I'm like, not that much at one time, because you can buy them in parts. But that becomes a lot of decisions, and I'm not good with decisions because you have to pick the keys and you have to pick the switches, and there's so many choices. So I've decided I created the one-key keyboard. Why? Because life is better without choices, and no one here stopped me. You all had opportunities. At not any point in time did anyone say stop. So I just kept going, and some things just have to be done. Next one. Arrow down. Yeah. Oop. Oop. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Product specification, it's one key, obviously. Cherry MX Brown. This is important when you work with mechanical keyboards. You have to know the specifications, because if you don't, you're a noob.
Okay, it's a Big Bang 2.0 red keycap here. This is probably the most expensive item on the whole one-key keyboard. It's a 3D printed, hand-carved case because my 3D printing skills are not really good. So I had to carve out some space for the PCB. And then I've got some general-purpose safety rubber bands here because the screw holes are too big. So it doesn't really stay together without the rubber bands. This disclaimer, this product only works with OS X and hex code Unicode input. Playing with your inputs could be detrimental to your health and cause male pattern baldness, of course. And then if everyone goes to the a picture of it, just in case you want to have that and save that. But you can also see it live here. And then I did have to make one choice. So the only thing it outputs is a poop emoji. So if we go to the Slack channel, the general, I'm going to do a live demo here. Would you like to help me? Skulle du vilja? Thank you.
Great, thanks. I think anyone still anyone here that want to go, or should we extend? Yes. Okay, some props.
We kind of forgot that we don't have a cord to the phone, so we'll just show it from the phone.
Yeah, the butter didn't have a lid, so we don't use the butter. The idea was to really soundtrack everything you buy. But then we realized we mostly buy food stuff, and food, as it appears, have really bad music taste. So it's more of a, yeah.
So we have the app here. We have the app here. And I click the button.
And we scan the
Try again.
and we get a bad song from the T. And we can try the chamomile tea.
Oh, sorry. To start over.
Like that, that's what I'm talking about. We don't have fun.
So, and if you're in a decision of you're choosing between two products, maybe you're choosing between Heinz ketchup and some other ketchup, you can just flip the phone and
you get two buttons.
So you can compare which ketchup has the best music taste.
All right. Is there anyone still here who hasn't done theirs? All right, let's try and call up my new Facebook friend who couldn't join for some reason on Hangouts. I'll just have her on speaker, I think, and see what's happened, what if that works. This is very stupid.
Hello? Something happening?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so there's like a... I can hear a minute ago on the YouTube video, so that's going to be complicated.
Okay, but you're on now. This is real life.
Oh, this is real life. Okay, I'm going to stop watching a minute ago of you. And...
I brought up your presentation, so just make a noise.
Yes.
Switch slides. I'm on slide now.
Noise. Okay, yeah, you can go for the presentation.
Yes. Because
I can't show you.
It's on.
Okay, good. Yeah, right. So I've made 2 projects from Lund because, as you know, it's the first university to get coronavirus, so we win something probably. And I decided to locally increase the stupidity here rather than bring the stupidity there. I had great encouragement from the Meatball Collider collaboration from last year and the participants of the Stupid Hue Slack channel. So first project, Stupid Hue. Can change the slide. And it's how you could mess up the sleep patterns by 100%. I've taken the exact numbers and words that were on this Google presentation to make it more stupid. So a lot of the things don't make sense what I've written here. It's the Google template about projects. Anyway, you go to slide 3. And this is the problem that we have here. So in 2016, a colleague returned to the US and had bought a Philips Hue set of lights, and he couldn't bring them back because wrong settings or something. And he left them behind, so I acquired and installed the set in Lund. I had really great plans because I'm an enthusiast of Internet of Shit, so I thought about doing so many projects, and then in 2016 this happened. In 2020, the set of light is still there. It does what it should do. It turns on and off the light, but I don't really feel like taking the phone out when turning on a light. So I thought, let's get help from the Stupid Hackathon to make the light set less useless. Can move on to slide 4. This is a challenges deep dive, whatever that means. So I wanted to expand my audience because I live by myself, but I want to have so many other people that cannot turn on and off my lights because that's getting value for money for these lights, even though I didn't spend any money on them. The second challenge was understanding how the whole thing works. I don't remember, and so I had to make another couple of useless accounts. They're going to be selling my email somewhere on the internet. And challenge number 3 is actually quantum mechanics. We have to prove this booking action at a distance. On slide 5, you have the solution. There is no GitHub because I was so lazy I didn't actually use my own coding. I used Zapier. So you can connect Hue to Slack via Zapier. And you don't have a way to, you can put all the commands at once on your lights. So if you put lights off and lights on at the same time when a Slack channel gets posted, then you get a flash. You could also do other things, but I've not tried to break my own lights. And then you get people to send a message in the Stupid Hue channel, and you get light. And then the real challenge was to leave it on overnight so that anyone in Stupid Hackathon could turn on and off the lights while I was sleeping, but I was wearing a sleep mask because I wanted to be awake today. So no one turned on and off my lights, I think, or at least I didn't see it. I didn't see any message on the channel, so thank you for letting me sleep. That was project number 1. Project number 2 is shorter, and I'm talking about, of course, the favorite virus of everyone, not the bird flu, but how we can still achieve a win-win for the birds. You can go to slide 7. You've heard all about coronavirus. I'm not going to repeat it. The main problem for me is that it's holding my cat hostage, as it was taking a holiday with my parents in the red zone, and I cannot go for the life of me to get the cat. So my parents are stuck with my cat, and I'm without a cat. So what can I turn on for company? I want birds to keep me company. But the birds do not want to come to my feeder because maybe they're afraid that I am from northern Italy and they don't come here. So how can I encourage them to come around? And the birds are not on Twitter, so they cannot listen to Trump. And that's, they could just listen to that and then they would come because coronavirus is not a problem. So the solution is a win-win for the birds. The last slide, maybe. You can make bird face masks using the netting that prevents birds from eating seeds and crops in the vegetable garden. So that's the kind of thing that you put on your vineyard or on your kale so they don't eat it up. So you have the virus there, and the bird is not safe from virus if it doesn't have the face mask. But then when you make a face mask out of that bird netting, then the bird is safe from virus, and the virus goes away maybe to infect another human, which is much better than infecting a bird. So this is a win-win for the birds because in Italy they've started making masks out of this thing, and the world will run out of netting, so the birds will be able to eat all the seeds in all the gardens and be safe for coronavirus. So I think the birds will thank us for this prototype project. That's it. Okay, I'll go back to 1 minute ago. Well, bye-bye.
This is it. Okay, I don't think we have the last. Let's see. He sent the presentation from Bombay Beach, outside Los Angeles, and they seem to have. Yeah, I don't have access to play the video. I'll send it out afterwards somehow in the Slack, I guess. But let's watch what this is anyway. It's in Swedish apparently, even though it's from US. And okay. There are 3 groups with 3 ideas. An unreliable tattoo machine was one of them. Another was a projection map, a climbing wall where everything moves. And then they made one together, which was a piezo mic table with alcohol sensor. Okay. Okay, the table actually recognizes all the sounds. And it has an alcohol sensor. Yeah, there's much more alcohol for every slide, that's right. Because they were in a weird time zone as well, so this was... And they had problems with wind for 8 hours, apparently, so we got to cut them some slack. Okay, and this is supposed to be the video, I think, but I can't, yeah, I don't have permissions to this Google Drive object. So was that everyone, maybe? So thank you so much for doing all this. It was amazing to watch it all unfold, and thank you to Goto 10 for hosting us kindly and buying everyone pizza. So one idea that came from Måns this morning was to maybe not do this into a 24-hour thing next year, to maybe do it into something that starts early in the morning and end late in the night instead. So then we can have the presentations at, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the evening, and then just get drunk afterwards, which would be kind of nice. So we'll see what happens next year, but it's, I mean, this is too much fun not to do. So it will happen, and I'm sure some people will be here for the 5th time next year. And yeah, thanks everyone.
Ja, jag vill se mer av den här.